This could all go horribly wrong at any minute. Hello there, and welcome to the 229th edition of Louis Black's Rantcast, entitled Independence from Empathy. That's right. We finally did it. Rolling into the grand 4th of July, the boss screaming, "I need my big, beautiful bill now." And could he have been talking about a guy? No, he was talking about that extraordinary amount, 900 pages, that Hakeem Jeffries was able to read and really kind of turn things around, didn't he? No, not even close. I mean, I guess it's good he did it. I don't, so that everybody would know. No, because nobody was listening. Because it's a big holiday weekend, and and so rolling into that, people are trying to figure out their plans, what they're going to be up to, how they were going to spend that 4th of July. Well, how much, where to get the barbecue sauce? Do we make it ourselves? Do we purchase it off the shelves? Do we get that Joe's barbecue from out there in Kansas City? Some of the great barbecue. I think I may not have gotten that a little wrong. I know Smoky Joe's. The Joe's is at the gas station there, and I'm diverging because I don't really want to talk about this. I'm sick of talking about this independence from empathy, and we declared it finally. For years, we've been spending time trying to get away from helping, from seeing the people that are around us who need help. And now we don't have to give a shit anymore because we've got a big, beautiful bill that just says no time for these folks, none. So you need food. We have, what's now called SNAP, used to be called food stamps. You better be working for that. We're back to that again. But now it's just, let's get rid of it. Let's really cut it out, even though it's more difficult now than it was then for many people. And actually, it was the same. It's always been the same. If you're getting fucked in this country, you are getting fucked. And that's the facts. And I don't care if you say, well, I don't care. I've watched it. I'm tired of it. These people are not doing what they can to bullshit. Okay. A lot of people get handed a raw fuck deal in this country, and we seem to ignore that. Yeah, sure. There's always somebody who's taking advantage of the system, and a lot of them are wealthy. Okay. And are able to, because they've got all sorts of people who work on their taxes, but they don't have to worry anymore because they're cutting down on the amount of people doing income taxes, and certainly the ones who were checking to be sure that people were paying their taxes and doing what should be done. That group in the IRS that were really the overseers of that. Let's get rid of them, and while we're at it, let's say that we're not going to tax those who are on Social Security. And does that matter? Hardly at all. Hardly fuck at all. People don't get enough money from Social Security to begin with to be taxed, but it turns out that 64% of the folks in this country who have Social Security aren't taxed anyway. So you're doing it for the 36%, and the 36% who are probably those who really love the boss, I think. Although I've just made that up. I mean, and we're certainly not going to, by the year, we're going to cut 11 million people off by the year 2030 something so it'll be down the road. So it doesn't really matter by then. They should be dead anyway. And, this is one way to get rid of them, is to, undermine their ability to get health insurance. So more and more people will find it more and more difficult to get health insurance. And if they do have health insurance, even under the Affordable Care Act, it's tough, because some people don't even have the money to pay the deductible to begin with. And let's get rid of Medicare or Medicaid or whatever the fuck it is. Let's get rid of that, because God knows those people should be able to afford, the being able to pay for all of the traumatic kind of injuries, all of the horrific of diseases, all of the things that those who are on dealing with long-term COVID. Yeah, those dealing with memory loss, which is occurring younger and younger and younger. So, but fuck it, because I'm sure that they're going to be able to, move in with somebody in their family so that that family member isn't able to be a breadwinner anymore, whoever it may be. And so it becomes more and more difficult for them. And I can go on and fuck on and fuck on. But we don't have to worry about it anymore, because on this July 4th, that big, beautiful bill, the greatest misnomer I've ever heard, bullshit on a stick, big, beautiful bill. We finally, what made it big and what made it beautiful is that we don't have to, we will have those who don't have paying the bill, so that those who can pay the bill don't pay the bill, because God knows that the wealthy are really going to go, I got more money now, so I'm going to just do everything I can to pass it on, because they're the ones. Even though we know that the small businesses really are one of the bigger generators of our economy, and that's how people really manage to become wealthy, and which is great. But to think that by allowing all of the folks who are making tons of money to not have to pay their fair share at this point, and that somehow that's going to help, they can continue to contribute. That could be done, and yet they could be taxed a little more. Again, he's thinking of taking some of them up a little, maybe, depending on what day it is and how much stuff, hair product he uses, so that he can remember that, even remember saying it. I am losing touch with reality on a daily basis because of what I have to watch. It is it's inexorable, it's exhausting, as it is for many, many others, and I'm sure. And then some who think this is just a delight and couldn't be better, and this is the most wonderful of times. No longer do you have to worry or in any way, shape, or form have the Christian values that so many people think were behind this country, and that makes this country as great as it is those Christian values, which we don't have to follow and can talk about in name only. And that makes everything just a lot easier. And those who are trying to come here, that group of immigrants who, it turns out that Joe Rogan just realized that he got lied to. Well, there's a shocker. I'm a little surprised that he just realized that the boss was going to lie about stuff. Oh God, he's not just picking up criminals. He's kicking out all sorts of immigrants who came here for a real reason. And instead of trying to deal with it, and instead of realizing what their contribution is, as all immigrants have contributed to this country, all right? They're not coming in. We are not getting on any level that anyone can possibly fucking imagine. We are not getting criminals and people out of the, and drug addicts and those the mentally ill, and here's how we know that, because if you're a criminal, you're going to stay in your own country and make some money. And if you are going to be one who has drug problems, or if you're someone who is mentally ill, you're not going to be able to make it here. All right. Why? Because you're out of your mind. So I don't know how to explain this to people, and it doesn't seem to matter, because the boss just kind of goes on, and some people like Joe just realized that they were being lied to, even though they should have realized that this is what was going to happen, because apparently in that whatever it is 2025 thing, I can't even keep up with all of the nonsense and bullshit and hoo-ha that we're drowning in, that we are drowning in. And so that's it. independence from empathy. And I got to see some extraordinary fireworks shot off around the Lake Chautauquas. All of the small communities there celebrated. And I have to say that it was one of the more interesting, an old time celebration of the 4th of July in a fashion that was quite wonderful at Chautauqua, with a full orchestra on stage playing all sorts of songs with a wonderful singer whose name is Carpathia, I believe, but I can't think of her last name, and I didn't really never got it, and I may have even said her name wrong. But that's the way this, Rantcast is now. It's me stumbling around trying to remember things, and I've got other things that have to be done because I'm leaving on a safari in 2 weeks. That's right, 2 weeks. I'm heading to South Africa, and you will hear all about it. I guarantee you, and I will hopefully, as I hit the road to do those last 7 shows out on the West Coast, the last run, so to speak, I will get a chance to talk about that and talk about some LGBTQ stuff that I'm going to bring back from the vault, because what they're doing now is madness, utter madness, as we kind of cut a variety of things out of our history in order to make sure that the white population in this country is worshipped on the level that they deserve. And it's just so good that we're capable of doing that. Finally, by cutting out empathy and cutting them out of history. So it's all, we just can't do enough to create a country that was really, in many ways, reflective of 1955, when the televisions were black and white, and so was life itself. But not anymore. Now we were able to finally get out of this color thing and go right back to black and white. And I'm not even going to go into what I mean by that. It's pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward. It's right to the point. I'm going to take a moment to relate something just as we've stumbled into Amazon Prime. The Prime Day begins tomorrow. It's a 4-day event where Amazon, who seems to now control practically all shopping everywhere and at every turn, will be having huge, massive sales. And you can go online. I'm sure your inbox, wherever you get your email is just, you're being pounded with. You could get 6,000 fish heads and build a small cabana for yourself out of them. And it used to cost $3,000. And now it's only $2,200. And the fish heads don't smell. They've been able to finally figure that out. Am I in contact with reality? No. But I am in contact. I saw one of the sales. I got notified in an email, and I leapt right on it. I wanted to get an iPad, a new one, because I've been using the iPad on the Rant is Due for since like 2012, and it's high time I got another. It's too heavy. It's a piece of shit. And I thought, let's torture myself with a newer version of it. But it's got a retinal display, and it's magnificent. And it actually, the screen is so bright that it sears to the back of your skull and creates like a movie screen back there. So you see everything distinctly and clearly, and are able to really get a sense of what life should be and what life should be like if you had this new product. And I've got it. I have it. The one that opens it all up for you, an iPad. And hopefully it weighs less than the one that I have. And hopefully it fucking works. So I called Amazon because I had some points, wanted to convert those points into cash rather than use cash. I thought, wow, here's an opportunity, because every so often it would say on the Amazon thing. You could use these points. It was saying it a lot, and I wouldn't use the points. But I thought, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to use the points now. It's stupid. Save a little money. Be able to do something else with that financially, and be able to use those points that they've thrown at me for quite a long time. And so it didn't appear when I wanted to make the purchase that I could use either the card or the points from the card, either the cash from the card or the points from the card. And so I called Amazon to see what was going on there and how to make that happen. And Amazon said, yeah, well, absolutely. This is no problem at all. We have been looking forward to helping you, especially because you are financially stable and not like those others who've just been fucked on Independence Day. And that's why we have these Prime Day sales, is to be able to, now that we've gotten the wheat from the chaff, so to speak, we're going to be able to help you, Mr. Wheat. And even though you're not even though we may be challenging gluten-free day, we feel that it's important for the wheat to come forward with those big stalks, and you're one of them. And so, and is there any element of sanity to a lot of what I'm saying? No, but there is, in the sense that I was, I got a hold of these folks. I got on the line. I said, let's do this. Let's make it possible to do this. And they said, we can do it. And they told me exactly how to be able to link that card so that when I went to pay for my little cart, and isn't that a sweet way to put it, that I actually giving you a sense really that it's a tiny little cart that holds so much. And I was able to, put that together and get ready and move on to pay by points rather than by cash. This was a big step forward for me. And much like people won't have Snap, I tried to get the points. They said it should show up. Now the points didn't fucking show up. Didn't show up. Nope, I was not given an option for that. So let's go back and try it again. And I went back and tried it again, because maybe the address I used really wasn't the proper address, which, like, instead of my own address, use the business address, and that might be turn it around. And it did not fucking turn it around. And now I've been on there for a bit longer already than I should have. And we tried it again, and I went to another address, and then finally a fourth time we tried it, because I took the stuff out of the cart. I rebooted, but basically turned Amazon off, turned it back on again. This will do it. That always works. And it didn't, not even close. And so he said he would go in there to be sure and to check and make sure that, and sure enough, he said that yes, I should have no trouble really doing this, and he would send me on to someone else. I should be able to get it done. They were able to fix it, even though each time that I went back to to try to make sure that this was working, and that I was going to be able to link the cards to points, not just cash, but to points, and I would plug it in and make that, hit that little button and link the cards, and then it would send me back to the same place and said, do you want to add a card? And that made me a little suspicious, because that happened 4 times. And I thought, do they think I'm linking all these cards up? No, because there are only some cards that you can use points with. And so I was a little perturbed by this, but they were going to send me someone else, somebody a little further up the food chain who might be able to help me out. And they got on, and we went through a lot of the same stuff again. And then, wow, why don't I try the app on my phone? And that may be where the problem lies. And I kind of got rid of the Amazon thing. I was the page, the website, went to my app, because a lot of the times that's what they want you to be doing it on your phone, because it's right there. It's instinctive. You want it right now, and this would be the way I could get it right now. And I went there, and we did a couple of shots again with we trying to get this thing to work, and it just wasn't working, and she didn't understand why. And after literally now I'm into 50 minutes, and I had a lot to do today. This being part of it, what I'm doing right now, being part of it. But then again, it allowed me to come up with, as we go into deal days with Amazon, the ability to tell you, watch fucking out, because there seems to be some sort of mucky muck with the system. I don't know if, somebody spilled a tub of peanut butter somewhere, and so things got a little sticky and gummy, and so things aren't moving along the way they should. But wow. It just would not work. Not even on the app, on the incredibly exclusive Aren't You Lucky, Mr. Black app. And after going on 50 minutes, and we spent another 10 talking about the fact that, hey, really you should call Amex, because they're the ones who should be able to help you on this. And I said, well, no, you're the ones who are selling the product. So you're the ones who told me that it says that I've been able to actually use I should be able to use my points. There should be no problem with this. They were able, behind the scenes, that it worked. It's converted, and I've got the numbers. And she kept saying her big deal, and I've forgotten this, was to just, if I punched the card, if I just hit the card itself, the points thing would appear, and it never did, never wouldn't. It just didn't. It couldn't happen. It's not going to happen. I'm telling her it's not going to happen. And that's when she said, well, you're going to have to talk to American Express. And I said, why would American Express have anything to do with your system? What are they going to do? Huh? Because you're telling me it's already going to the fact, it's already working for me. And the fact is, it's just not appearing when I do it. And so maybe, how are they going to make it appear? This is not some fucking, what are they, magicians? You're the one who's supposed to, can't you find somebody, anybody, someone, somewhere in the bowels of Amazon, considering the level of tech? Well, we don't have anybody like that. I mean, that was seriously what she said. We can't really do it. We've done as much as we can at our end. And so I said, well, how, you have to do it at your end. Well, I can't do it. American Express can't do it. Now you're telling me to go to someone else to buy it. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. And, but that was an hour of my life. And was it important to keep that hour? Yeah. Because I would have had more energy for this Rantcast, and probably a lot more of my fucking mind that I could apply to this. And so I will, I have to be going shortly. I'm going to hold on. I'm going to head out to South Africa, is where the safari is. And hopefully I'll be able to get back. That'll be fun. That'll be really fun, because that's the country, where the white, a lot of those white farmers were just, under incredible duress, and were being attacked by the population. They were being, there was a level of racism going on against the white farmers, and many of them had to leave and were welcome, even though we have Mexicans and Colombians and all sorts of folks from around the world who've been here working hard, diligently, waiting to see if they could become citizens, and they were being tossed out, even though their contributions at time are extraordinary. Many fathered, I remember just recently, the father of like 3 military kids. Three of his kids went into the military, and he was tossed out of the country because that's not enough. That's not enough that they could, that would help. And now, and those 3 kids born here then hence we're citizens, and we're going to get rid of that birthright thing so that we don't have to have our blood sullied with those who were from those other countries and are not really in the parlance whitey whites. So we are really lucky that we're able to focus on what needs to be done. And so we could bring in the true whitey whites, the South Africans, these farmers who've been tortured, and and I can't even remember. There were not many of them who took advantage of this opportunity, and just extraordinary. So if the president, the boss, tries to obstruct folks coming from South Africa, I may get stuck there. I may be basically working at some club safari, somewhere, doing some stand up in possibly trying to raise enough money to move on. Because I guess if they once he takes me out and won't let me back in, maybe you'll freeze my bank account, because God knows I would use that against him in terms of maybe the next election. And meanwhile, there'll be Elon Musk will have a new American Party, and that'll be something. He had said he was going to kind of put money into making sure these people who voted with the boss, he was going to make sure that they were a lot of money went into making sure they weren't elected again. It'd be interesting, that experiment. But creating another party, I don't think helps. I mean, I think I'd have been interested to see if he put the money into, well, we'll see. He's putting the money in. Does the money buy an election? We'll see. We shall see. But that's down the road. And this has been one of the most, I think, probably mildly psychotic, almost a fever dream, is what I feel. And I hope you're able to follow it. We got some great rants. Next week, some rants I think will be coming to us from the time I did a live rant is due in Chautauqua. I will be doing live rant is dues. I'll be doing them out once I get to California, and I hope you can join me for some of those along the way, and send in some. Okay, if you're going to be coming to those shows, Santa Cruz, Los Angeles, San Francisco, check the website, and Las Vegas. But check out the website lewisblack.com, and hopefully you'll be able to see one of those shows, one of those final shows. Not a final show, but certainly the final tour shows. And I'm looking forward to those, but I'm really looking forward to this safari, because I need a break. This was a great week last week at Chautauqua. If you ever have the possibility to visit up there, I'm going to tell you again, the National Comedy Center was a huge help to me. Journey Gunderson there, Gary Hahn, many of the others who really put in the time and the energy to bring you an institution that I think is well worth your time visiting. I am not kidding. And then if you're there, you wander down to Chautauqua, spend a little time on that lake, and then head up to Niagara Falls. If you want to gamble, there's a casino around, and it's all there, not expensive. And it was a great week, beginning with the Inside Out and Inside Out 2 directors, Peter Docter, Kelsey Mann, followed by the Daily Show. And for the folks who work there, hosted, moderated by Jeff Stilson, on to a really wonderful, funny opening of the Vault, and watching, the legacy of Johnny Carson and his greatness, and as kind of one of the last guys who appeared in front of millions of people. And brought us together, much like Walter Cronkite. And those days are gone. They are dead and gone, and they're not coming back. Nope, not even on your phone. Not even on your phone. So there's, and because it couldn't have something that lasted. A joke that goes on for 2-3 minutes, that's an eternity. Followed on Thursday, Paula Poundstone killing it in the morning. Stand up in the morning. It was quite sweet, and if you've not had a chance to see her, well worth your time. Quite funny, quite smart, quite fun to be around. And finally, on Friday, the Tony Shalhoub and Brooke Adams, and that was stellar. The deal was done by Brooke and Tony. It's a play of mine. It was also done by Joe Grafazzi and Mark Lindbaker. And the whole week, it was a pleasure to be able to basically give the folks who showed up there what's funny to me. And there are other people I would have brought in, but some of them just didn't want to do it, and it didn't have the time. But if you say, gee, well, why wasn't Kathleen Madigan there? Well, she's been overworked this year, and I was not going to bother her to ask her to come on in. And I think she's pleased that I did. I am pleased to tell you that this is a wrap. I'm done. And I hope you've enjoyed the time that I've spent with you. I certainly enjoyed the time that I spend with you. And it's a privilege and a pleasure to read those rants and to just babble away in hopes that, you don't go, wow, we need to get a psychiatrist to that house and take him to a place where he can recover. I'll be doing it. I'll be out there with the animals. I'll be out there looking at those extraordinary beasts and saying, wow, where do I belong? And realizing what our place is, which is that, well, we're just if we're a part of the food chain, a lot of what I'm going to be seeing it eat us. And I've gone on way too long. Thanks for letting me just rattle away here. Take care of yourselves. Okay? Take care of each other. Enough is fucking enough. All right? We don't need to be independent from empathy. It's really important. Being empathetic matters. So please, care for each other. Why? Because that's what the Bible tells us to do. And it's not fucking around. It may be the reason, maybe it isn't. I'm going on and on. It is, maybe it's not the reason. It is global warming for what we're seeing. Maybe God is just going like he did, in the Bible. Maybe he's just punishing us for the fact that we have strayed from the path. And that's enough of this. And this is enough of that. Have a great week. I hope your 4th was special. Here we go. Eddie VanMueller wants to share with us the Pickle incident. It was a sweltering Thursday afternoon when I stepped into Saul's Delicatessen, a tiny, cluttered shop nestled between a pawn shop and a synagogue on East 5th. The blast of cool, briny air hit you like a fart out of an elephant. I wasn't there for the pastrami or the matzo ball soup or even the world-famous knishes. I had one goal: kosher garlic pickles. I walked up to the counter, eyeing the massive, murky jar of pickles behind the glass like a hawk. Old man Saul was nowhere to be seen, but his son, Joel, mid-30s, permanently annoyed, stood lazily behind the register, tapping something on his phone. What a douchebag. Always was, still is. Excuse me, I said, I'll take a 1/4 pound of the garlic kosher pickles, the ones from the jar, the real ones. Joel didn't look up. We're out. Out? And no, they're right there in the fucking jar with the fucking garlic cloves floating around like fucking little blessings. Joel made a snorting sound. Those are reserved for catering orders. What we got for walk-ins is over there. And he pointed dismissively to a pre-packed plastic tub in a refrigerator case labeled, you're an idiot, Lewis, labeled kosher dill garlic style. Garlic style? What the fuck does that even mean? Fucking garlic adjacent? Fucking garlic inspired? Huh? That's not what I came here for. Joel looked up now. They taste the same. They don't. They're a betrayal in a fucking plastic tub. The deli got quiet. A man slicing tongue sandwiches paused mid-cut. Joel smirked. Look, buddy, if you want artisanal pickles, there's a hipster place 2 blocks down. They probably chant over their brine, I want fucking Saul's pickles, the ones your father used to pull. Straight from the jar with those blessed tongues, dripping with vinegar and history. Not this fucking mass-produced imposter. You done romanticizing a cucumber, Joel said, crossing his arms. He said, it's a pickle, not a religion. Bullshit. That was it. I stormed out the door with the fucking little bell over the door sarcastically jingling behind me. I may have lost this fucking battle, but I sure am not going to lose the war. Well, thank you, Eddie, and I fully understand why you desperately wanted the real pickle, and I hope that you will tell us how the war ended. Thanks for sharing, Eddie. I hope you got your pickle. I do hope you got your pickle. Matt Landon is angry, and here's why. That fucking scum of the earth, Van Orden, has me on the verge of a fucking meltdown. He supposedly represents Wisconsin's 2nd District, where I'm from. It's because of him that this piece of shit, big, ugly bill is even being signed into law. He was the deciding vote in the House. It wouldn't be shocking if he got some hollow assurances in exchange for his fealty. This guy makes me want to vomit. When I thought he couldn't get any more fucking depraved and spineless, he does this. What really blows my damn mind is that he's a veteran who voted to have his own VA benefits taken away. Can you believe this shit? He's so fucking brainwashed that he's sacrificing his own integrity to please a juvenile septuagenarian with the attention span of a crack addict. If you ask me, sycophants like him and his colleagues are the real rhinos. This shell of a party has no semblance of identity apart from a wannabe dictator's fascist agenda. If you'll excuse me, I'm going to go drink myself stupid before my ACA benefits get taken away. Thank you for giving us a place to vent our anger and for saying out loud what those of us with a functioning brain are thinking. Well, I'm the one who's lucky enough to be able to share them and read them. And Matt, I can understand why you're angry. Leif Farabough is pissed and he's got a reason. Hey, why is white chocolate allowed to be called chocolate? It is not chocolate at all. First, it is white. It doesn't have any cocoa in it. It doesn't even taste like chocolate. It's just a bunch of sugar and vanilla and milk solids masquerading as chocolate. If someone gives you white chocolate, be suspicious. It's like telling you rain on your wedding day means good luck. It's a lie. It's an interesting comparison, rain on your wedding day to white chocolate. But I'll take it. It's your tale to tell. I am sorry. I've had a long week at Chautauqua, and I'm sorry for bumbling around on that, Lee. I enjoyed it. Thank you. Marsha Haller Quick, simple, to the point. TV remotes. I need 3 to manage to turn it on. And then they're always missing. Why can't kids or adults put the remotes back where they found them? Well, because they're lazy, Marsha, and because they want to screw with you. Okay? It's one or the other. But the fact that you need 3 remotes, my friend Mark Lynn Baker had, when he was doing Perfect Strangers, it was impossible. There was it seemed to me you had to the Pony Express was faster. Would have been faster to get a signal on the TV if the Pony Express delivered it, because it was one to another, and there may have been 4 remotes. All I know is the whole fucking thing was remote. Sarah Dorfman has shared this with us, and I want to thank her. You know what drives me completely nuts? Emails. Not the sending, not the writing, the reading. Or more accurately, the complete and total goddamn refusal to read them. I send out an email that's maybe 4 sentences, and nobody reads it. Nobody. It's like I'm sending smoke signals into a black hole. I could tattoo the damn message on a puppy, and people would still ignore it while asking, whose dog is this? And the best part is when people reach out to me with questions that the email answered, and they admit to not reading the email. Oh, I saw something about a process to follow, but I didn't really read it. You can't follow directions to follow directions? Jesus, I'm not writing War and Peace. Just read the damn email. Don't get me started on the fact that these same people also asked me to write the same message in a Slack post and use lots of emojis to get people's attention. No one even reads or reacts to those with emojis. I could make a whole post of middle finger emojis and people would think, oh, her toddler must be at her computer. Ah, Sarah. That's why I never worked in an office for very long. And that was before this madness. Thank you. Joe Liu, or Lou. Healthcare professionals here, Lewis. I truly cannot find the words to express how disgusted I am with the one big piece of shit budget bill. I was even more disgusted watching the soulless shitbag Republicans celebrating and dancing on the House and Senate floors just after they rammed this monstrosity through Congress. I don't think people are truly grasping just how devastating it is going to be. It is the biggest theft of Americans' taxpayer money in history, a $4.5 trillion boon for the ultra-wealthy. Meanwhile, poor and needy families and individuals will suffer irreparable harm as a result of the nearly $2 trillion in cuts to safety net programs that those sorry fucks promised to never touch. An estimated 17 million individuals will lose access to health care coverage. They keep saying, just as an aside, but not until 2034. Like that makes it better. And 1.2 million veterans who use SNAP benefits, 300 rural hospitals, and 600 nursing homes are at imminent risk of closure. The Affordable Care Act gutted, which will lead to higher premiums for those who rely on the health insurance market. And don't even get me started on the worthless no tax on tips and overtime measure. A top-line deduction that's taken out when determining adjusted gross income. By the time the standard deductions are applied, those deductions will be worthless to low-income earners. The slap in the face is that the government will still be taking federal taxes out of our paychecks. This is anything but a beautiful bill, Lewis. It's a big, hot, steaming pile of horse shit. The con man's playbook. Execute the con game and then keep kicking the victim after they're down and finally figure out how they've been duped. There's a special place in hell for each and every one of these Republican elected officials. May they all rot in eternal damnation. To quote the great Sarah Millican, they can all fuck off. All right, I'm going to ask someone out there who believes that big budget bill, somebody just a citizen, who thinks that budget bill really works, and tell me how it works for you. And I know that, and try to come in with some facts, all right? That's all I'm asking. And or whatever you think the facts are. Let me take that back. No, whatever you think the facts are. You tell me how you think it helped you, all right? Please. And how it helps America. And why, and if you could explain to me why you think that the uber wealthy need to have more of a break, all righty? So thanks, Joe. I'm going to be talking about this. I probably have in this Rantcast or one of the others. Who the fuck knows? Thanks, Joe. Thank you. Thanks to all of you for listening to my Rantcast. If you have a rant you want to get off your chest, send it in to me at lewisblack.com/live. You can think of it as therapy or whatever you want to think of it as. Just let it rip. And I want to thank the true stars of our show, the ranters, and the splendid rants they gave us. Lewis Black's Rantcast was created and hosted by me. Aha, Lewis Black. Our live rant audio was produced by James Salter. Our theme song by Chris Lane. Executive producer, Ben Brewer. Executive producers, Matt Kleinschmidt and Robert Kelly.